Hi friends, so welcome to the channel. My name is Tabo Ntangano. For those who don't know me, I've built a portfolio of £2 million of 13 properties, 6 which are owned by myself and 7 which are rented out from landlords, and we rent them out as Airbnb serviced accommodation. This is a basic video where I'm going to teach you 3 ways how to get properties in the UK. So this is a new method which no one teaches. Like if anyone teaches this method, I would like to know them. So this is a method which I call the PAC method. So PAC method is broken down into PAC, PAC as it spells out, not Tupac, but just PAC. Yeah, so P stands for purchase, A stands for arbitrage, and the other C stands for co-hosting. So I'm just gonna talk about the P, the A, and the C. This is not scripted, so this is just coming from my head, so it might be all over the place. So just bear with me. Watch the video till the end because I'll always give out value and obviously bonuses also throughout the session. So yeah, P stands for purchase. So you can acquire a property to use as an Airbnb through buying one. So this is the purchase method where you can buy the property. I mean, it depends on your location, where you are based. But if you're buying a property which you know the exit strategy which you want to use it for is serviced accommodation, you need to actually research that area. You need to find out, like, this property which I'm looking to buy, does it actually work as a serviced accommodation? So you can do this using platforms like Airbnb, Booking.com, and AirDNA, Price Labs, Wheelhouse. So these platforms will give you your market analysis to say, yes, this area works as an Airbnb. So that's one of the first things you need to do. Let's do an example of a city. So if you're in Birmingham, which is the Midlands in the United Kingdom, second largest city in the UK, and you want to buy a property there, so you want to go to Airbnb and act like a booker, act like you want to go visit Birmingham. So by doing that, it will show you areas where there are Airbnbs. Yeah, it will show you areas which are working well. The more they are, obviously, the better it is, because you can go there and you actually look at the host calendar and see if they've been fully booked, etc. You know, so you can actually snoop and see, okay, this person is operating in Birmingham right now. It's October. Let me look at their calendar. Well, their calendar for October looks empty. You know, so it's like that will give you signs. You know, you can look at various properties like that. So also it will show you the locations which are good. So I know Birmingham City Centre works, areas like Jewellery Quarter around Birmingham, they'll all work because there are Airbnbs there. There are Airbnbs which are being booked. So if you want to buy, you now know, okay, I need to target this area in Birmingham. But as I always say, you need to also research, like just a simple Google search to say what's happening in Jewellery Quarter. You can also put like things like what's happening in Jewellery Quarter in the next 5 to 10 years. Because don't forget, if you're buying a property, this is a long-term investment. You're not just buying for that 1 year. You know, you're buying for a very long time. You're buying it to keep it. You're buying it to build a legacy for your family, etc. You know, so these are like, that's the simple top level researches you can do before you pull the trigger and buy your property. Another thing you can do is go on like the platforms which they're selling properties. So platforms like Rightmove, it's a big UK search engine. Platforms like Zoopla, you can find properties which are being sold. Other platforms like On the Market, etc. They show properties which are being sold. So you can look in that specific area to say, reverse engineer, to say, okay, in Birmingham, most properties which are being sold are in the city centre. Then now you know, like, there's a lot of properties in the city centre. So you go on Airbnb and see, okay, there are actually Airbnbs in the city center. So that answers your question. So you can now like negotiate the buying. So in terms of buying, there are various ways for you which you can buy. You can buy cash if you are wealthy enough and you've got the cash. You can buy a property cash with no mortgage or anything like that. But if you don't have all the money up front, you can use a mortgage, which is a long-term loan, which you get from the bank. So if you're buying something for a business, So if you're buying for your property business, you will need to pay 25% deposit, and the other 75% will come from the bank. However, like, you need to get the correct mortgage. So for Airbnb service accommodation, there are commercial mortgages which allow you to do that. So a lot of people in the industry are buying things on a wrong mortgage. They're buying these properties on a buy-to-let mortgage, which is not the case, because buy-to-let mortgage shouldn't be used for serviced accommodation. So if you're buying it, you need to be using a what? A serviced accommodation Airbnb mortgage. So after buying it, that will go through like the solicitor, the whole buying process. So the way I buy properties is using the BRR strategy, which is the buy, refurb, refinance, then rent it out as a serviced accommodation. I've got a video in my school community which explains the buy, refurb, refinance method. So click on the link below and join the school community. So we've covered the whole purchase thing, but if you've got questions, put them in the comments and I will be answering those questions. Like I said, this video is a free flow. I didn't script it. I felt energy to record today and I wanted to put out some content for you. The next thing will be A. So let me drink my coffee, then we jump on to A. So on the A side is arbitrage, also known as rent to rent. So this is the trending skill, the trending strategy in the current market. So everyone is doing rent to rent, everyone is teaching rent to rent. So if you look into this whole rent to rent model, it started like a long time ago. The people who actually started this are hotels. So hotels, big players, big commercial property, they always do this strategy, rent to rent, but maybe they call it different names with the commercial jargon. This is called different names. So this is where you negotiate with the landlord with their permission. So you need their permission in order for you to take their property. Yeah, they will rent out the property to you as ABC Limited, whatever your company name is, yeah? So they rent out the property to ABC Limited. So that's the landlord. This is you, ABC Limited. You sign an agreement. Yeah, you sign a contract between the landlord and yourself. And that contract will allow you to rent out this property on a short-term basis. So you can rent it out and put it on platforms like Airbnb, Booking.com, or other booking platforms. But if you're busy enough and you've got enough business, you don't need these other OTA platforms. You don't need to be putting the property on Airbnb, Booking.com, other platforms, you know. So for example, if you've got a link of direct bookings, maybe people coming in to stay in that particular property and they're coming direct to you because you know there's maybe a construction industry or construction company which needs people to be housed, etc. So you don't need to put your property on Airbnb and Booking.com. So coming back to the concept of rent to rent, so the landlord knows what you're doing. So if the landlord doesn't know what you're doing, it's illegal. As you've seen in this news article here on the side, the person took the property and they didn't tell the landlord what they were going to do with the property, and they were just renting it out on Airbnb without the landlord's permissions. So that's illegal. That's not allowed. Okay, so you want to be doing things which the landlord knows, the landlord has agreed. Now you're asking yourself, wait, why would the landlord agree to this? Why would the landlord give you their property? So there are many reasons why the landlord will give you their property. Just believe it or not, there are some landlords, number one, they are abroad. They're not in the United Kingdom, but they've got properties in the United Kingdom. All they want is passive income every month. Yeah. Number two, these are just examples, right? Number two is there are landlords who are accidental landlords. What I mean by an accidental landlord, so this is a landlord who inherited a property and you know they want the property to carry on running by just giving them a monthly income. They don't care about short term, they don't care about running another business on their property, you know, they just want a monthly income. So there are landlords who like that, and they will give you their properties. Number Three, it's other maybe landlords who've given their property to a lettings agent, and the lettings agent manages everything, and they've told the landlord, we've got clients who also do Airbnbs, short-term rentals, whatever the fancy name they tell the landlords. So they will give you their property, their permission to actually do that. So it's possible. There are people with 200, 100 units who are running this business with landlords' permissions. So don't be in a scarcity mindset to say, oh, no landlord would want to give me their property, no landlord accepts these. I've got like loads of comments on my TikTok, on my socials to say, oh, that's subleasing, that's illegal, you should be in jail, you should be in prison, blah blah blah. Now, but I'm a free man, I'm outside here, I'm actually recording this video for you, so it is accepted, it is legal, you're allowed to do so, but as I've mentioned, as long as you've got the correct permissions from the landlord, from the owner of the property. Another thing which I want to highlight on the rent-to-rent side, if the property is empty, it's not booked, whatever, the liability is still yours, So let's say you've agreed a rent with the landlord of 1,500 every single month. Every first of the month, you need to pay the landlord 1,500. Also, if it's a rent-to-rent contract, you, ABC Limited, you are liable to all the bills. So you are liable to the council tax, you're liable to the energy bills, gas, electric, you're liable to water bill, you're liable to the internet bill. So all the bills, you will be liable to it. So let's say the bills come up to £500 and you pay the landlord rent a month of 1,500. So £2,000 every single month is your expense. No matter if the property is empty, booked, whatever, it's your expense. You need to pay the landlord 1.5. You need to pay the energy bills. They are 500. So no one will be like, when it comes to the end of the month, you don't negotiate and say, oh, excuse me, Mr. Landlord, this month I wasn't booked. My business was empty. Nah, the landlord doesn't care. The landlord wants their money. So you need to be making sure you actually get booked to break even at least, then obviously if you're doing the business correctly, if you know what you're doing, you've gone through my free training in my school community, you will be getting those 80 to 100% occupancy bookings. So that's on the A, which is the arbitrage method, also known as rent-to-rent. So we've covered the purchase, we've covered the arbitrage, also known as rent-to-rent. The other way you could get a property and run this business is co-hosting. So co-hosting, that's another fancy name which the industry likes, but is basically management, So you've gone on Airbnb and you've identified someone who's struggling, like a landlord or a property owner who's struggling to manage their property. It's either they're struggling because also they just got into this business by accident, Believe it or not, like there are many people who got into this Airbnb business by accident. Like they were at work and in the coffee area, they're drinking their coffee and someone told them, oh yeah, I do Airbnbs. Oh, how do you do Airbnbs? Oh, it's very easy. Just put your property on Airbnb and people start booking. They were like, oh, is it? Oh yeah, that's how. Then they start doing that and they put their property on Airbnb and they were waiting, praying for people to actually start booking, but alas, no one was booking because the way they've done it from the get-go was wrong. So these are the people you need to target and give them value to help them out. So in you helping them out, you take a certain percentage of the revenue coming in. Maybe they're not listing their properties correctly, they've taken poor pictures, all these things, they are struggling, and you can see potential in their property. With a few, 1 or 2 tweaks, their properties will be like well up there, to be getting bookings, etc. So this is the co-hosting method. So someone is already set up, everything is there, the property is there, furnished, everything, but it just needs 1 or 2 tweaks and it's running, So you can go to them and say, look, I'll come and add value like A, B, C, D. and I'll get a certain percentage. So this percentage is agreed between you and them. So it could be between from 10% to 30%. The percentage could be on the revenue, on the profit, or whatever. That agreement is between you and them. There is no right or wrong. So wherever the value is perceived, there is an agreement there. There is a deal to be done. So there is no risk to you. So this is 0% risk, but you also getting on the upside. So if you've actually delivered on what you said, like to say, look, I'm coming in and I will help you get this property to 100% occupancy. So if I get it to 100% occupancy, maybe each month we achieving £4,000 in bookings. I want 20% of that, or I'm going to be taking 10%. So whatever your agreement is with the landlord. So that 10% which you're taking could be £400 to your pockets without what? Without you investing money into that. So imagine £400 every month for that property, and you've got like 10 other properties like that which you're just managing for someone, and you're getting them fully booked. So that's like £4,000 a month into your pocket without what? Without you investing any single penny into that, but you've invested what? Your time, your effort, your systems, your knowledge into making that property what? Be fully booked, and you get an upside cash on it. So that's the co-hosting method. There's various ways to actually go on about doing the co-hosting method. So ladies and gentlemen, that's the whole PAC method, the PAC method as I call it, of how to acquire a property. So whether you purchase the property, whether you're doing arbitrage, rent to rent, whether you're co-hosting, in terms of all the Airbnb operations, all the principles of the business, from setting it up, from having high quality pictures, from the operations, to make the customer satisfied, everything is the same from then onwards. You need to be actually running this like a hospitality business. You need to be copying the same principles which the hotels offer, which the hotels give out, which the hotels do, but you want to be doing them better than the hotels, because I believe service accommodation, Airbnb, it provides better service and additional things which hotels don't provide. So sometimes it is actually better to offer a service accommodation. So for example, like a group of people, they're coming into a place to work. They don't want to be staying in a hotel and maybe it's 5 of them. They'll have 5 rooms. Sometimes they can have different rooms, like one is on the 5th floor, one is on the 1st floor, all that. So the team it's already separated by where they stay. But if they're coming to your property, which is already got 5 bedrooms, all the bedrooms have got an ensuite, they've got a lounge, a kitchen, like a nice place, a nice house. They've got a garden. They can do team building activities. They'll go to work, all these things. This is like the power of serviced accommodation, Airbnb. There are properties which do this, and these are the properties which we target as my business, Love Your Stays. We look for like 4, 5, 6 bedrooms, bigger properties. Gone are the days where we're looking for 1 or 2 bedroom properties. There is a lot of competition in those ones, because every Tom, Dick and Harry can access those properties and they can afford the rent on those properties. But whereas in the bigger properties, a lot of people, like, they think the rent is too much for those. Even if you're buying them, those properties are pricey to buy. So yeah, to conclude that, my friends, that's the whole PAC method. If you like my teachings, what I've said in this video, you can click on the link below and book a free consultation call with me. No strings attached on the call. I will be helping you out to map out your strategy of how to get into Airbnb service accommodation. I think it's the best business model right now, and you should jump on it before the train goes. Thank you.